Sousa Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
With Ease US makes studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
Hey, hang on 1 second. All right, hold on. I gotta close the door in here. I'm all by myself, guys. I'm in this studio. You'll have to forgive me. The lighting is a little off. I'm not necessarily a one-man band. My man Josh was in here earlier. We're at the Rogue Media Network. It's the Pete Sousa Show. If this is not as aesthetically pleasing as you would like, I apologize. But we're going with, hey, this is the best we can do today. Cam Stewart is in Boston. Chris Visser is in Orlando, Florida. Mack Strong is out on the West Coast. Seattle Seahawk on the brink of a very big game for the 12th man and the fan base coming up this weekend. Nobody better to talk to than a guy who has played in a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, a Super Bowl that a lot of people feel like Well, Seahawks fans will always point to that game and say it was the worst officiated game in the history of the NFL, which is quite possible. And if you think about the Seahawks, man, just real quick, on a day where we're going to celebrate Mack Strong, they have one Super Bowl. They should probably have two. I mean, if you really think about it, the Seahawks, I mean, that one play at the goal line, the Malcolm Butler, and a bunch of really bad calls in that Super Bowl that the Steelers won. That was the Bill Cowher Super Bowl. I think it was in Ford Field, if I'm not mistaken. And it was talking to Visser this morning. It was ridiculously loud in that stadium. And Visser has relationships with folks. I know Don Hasselbeck, who recently passed away, Matt Hasselbeck's dad, had shared with Chris that it was so loud in that huddle during that Super Bowl that the Seahawks were actually having trouble calling plays in the huddle. It was overwhelmingly a Steelers crowd in Ford Field, and it felt like a home environment for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll talk to Mack Strong about that Super Bowl, about his career, and about what he thinks about the Seahawks game coming up this weekend against the Rams. It should be a lot of fun. A lot of great, obviously, NFL coming up this weekend, and college basketball too. A lot of good. Look, I have to talk about this story first. I can't not talk about the Lakers stuff. It's too perfect as I set up my Daniel Stark Cup. The article, now we were traveling yesterday. We were coming home from Arizona State. By the way, that was a rough loss, man. What's going on out in Arizona State? It's a killer to see what's happening with Bobby Hurley. I don't know if you guys saw his post game after their loss to West Virginia, the game I called for Peacock and NBC Sports, but he was basically he's defeated, man. And it's not as though he's not a quitter, but at the same time too, he's so I love like his honesty. And he talked about, hey, like we can't win at home. They just can't. There's so much that they're having trouble with. The Lakers, Arizona State is right now. So it's like he said he feels doomed. And that's tough, man. When a coach says he feels doomed, it's their own life support over there. It seems like he is feeling like he's on life support. And that sucks because he's a legendary player. He's a great coach. And he just has not had things come together for him there while he's been at Arizona State. So that's a bummer. And even talking to him pregame, we go to shoot-arounds and talk with him. It was kind of neat. He had this really long hair sticking out of like his running suit, and it was just me and Bobby Hurley, a guy who I like worshiped as a kid, and we're talking. And I was like, Bobby Hurley's got a huge hair on his shirt. Like it's probably his wife's hair or his daughter's hair, a shirt comes out of the laundry or whatever. And I'm like, I got to help him out. I got to help Bobby Hurley out with his look. And I said, hey, coach, give me one. We were in the middle of something. I said, give me a second here. And I pulled this hair off him. And I go, it's got to be your wife's or something. He was like, Jesus. He was like, hey, man, thanks. I was like, yeah, no problem. But for a kid that grew up watching the guy from Jersey City who leads the NCAA all-time in assists with 1,076, to talk with Bobby Hurley is always a treat. But to see him and his team be down like this and to see him just be down, it hurts. I don't know. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people my age, because he means a lot to us. And he was at the forefront of the celebration of college basketball when you could say maybe socially it was at its peak. I think we can agree now that the play we're seeing on the floor with college football and basketball might be the best quality play we have seen in a very long time, right? Maybe ever. But as far as like the continuity of the game and the overall excitement about the sport, that's a little different, right? Just because of all the stuff we're up against now. But I think it's going to be changing. Mosley had a great interview with Scott Drew yesterday. And I'm going to be on the call for TCU Baylor. That's ESPN2, 5 o'clock on Saturday with my man King McClure. So that'll be a blast. I love working with King, and with the ice storm and stuff, it's great to have a game close to home. But Baylor's struggling, man. They are really struggling. And, Matt talked to Scott Drew yesterday. And the one thing about the interview that I didn't appreciate, and I put this on Mosley, not Scott Drew. Scott didn't bring it up once, and Matt is not like going to toss softballs. He was asking hard questions, but the one thing he wasn't doing the one thing he was doing as well was he kept bringing up that Rob Wright had left Baylor kind of at the altar. And, my thinking on that is like, dude, and it wasn't like Mosley was trying to give Scott an out. It's like Mosley is still pissed. Like the Baylor fan base is still pissed. And like, you gotta move on. I mean, you gotta move. It's over. It's gone. It's the state of college basketball. He's not coming back. And it also happened over the summer. It didn't happen like in November. And yes, Scott Drew will say, when you have a player who you were expecting to come back and play for you, who abandoned ship because of a more lucrative offer, when you had an agreement, a deal in place, signed and sealed and delivered, I'm not yours, says Rob Wright. But when you have a guy that, okay, here's our point guard, then everybody else is going to go somewhere else. So then when the guy who you were going to start at point guard says, hey, I'll see you later. And not only that, but he was going to be your best player. When he leaves you like that at the last minute, it hurts. But like, we got to move past that. And Scott Drew didn't once like hang his hat on that. He was accountable. He talked about losing the kid Bodo preseason, like really hurts. The injury to JJ White is hurt. There's another season-ending injury that hurt. But, he's also honest about, hey, like what I've heard people talk about the talent evaluation. And that's a big, these coaches now, their ability to evaluate talent is being called into question more than ever, because you have these guys like a Scott Drew who made a living off of developing players, right? Like, developing talent. And then Baylor hit a home run and won a national championship. And then it was, okay, now we have these marquee blue chip guys who come in and are, one and dones going in the lottery. And, that's all well and good, but you haven't gotten a ton of success deep into March with that blueprint, and King McClure is not like a God squad guy, but, he's got faith and believes. And, he has said to me before, like, Baylor needs to get back to like the joy, the Jesus, others, yourself. Like that's how they won a championship, with great players and that sort of concept and mindset. And, in this era, that's just impossible to wrap your arms around. So if anybody can turn it around, it's Scott Drew. Is it going to be this year? I don't know. I think we also have to realize that like a lot of these coaches are readjusting to the new climate on the fly. So whether you like it or not, a guy like Scott Drew kind of goes back to being a pupil almost, in a sense where like he doesn't have all the answers. So he's learning on the fly as well. And they got to play better defense against the three. When you have a team like Texas Tech come out, I think they shot 63% from the 3-point line in that win. You can't allow against TCU, and now I'm getting into the weeds in this basketball game that nobody cares about. But if TCU goes out there and hits their first couple threes, they get lathered up, they get confident. That's trouble. And that's what happened with Texas Tech. Like when you are playing a team that all they have is the three, and you're going to beat them. Well, then even if they make their first 4 or 5, like you can still just beat them up, right? And you can beat them up, and you'll overwhelm them by the time the game is over. In a situation like this one, where you have these well-rounded teams playing in the Big 12, they can beat you several different ways. So if they come out and hit their first 5 threes, that's trouble. That's trouble. All right, let's go on to the Lakers now, because this story is tailor-made for the Pete Sousa Show. It's actually tailor-made for the Jim Rome Show. And if I was going to retweet this but I guess I got in my head because first of all, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to retweet it like, oh, this is Jim Rome at his best. Like, what am I even going to say? Jim Rome on fire, but his segment on the Lakers yesterday was so good because when you want to break down, this is family drama plus LeBron drama plus like a Succession script. The highlight, Baxter Holmes wrote the article about, Jerry Buss left this team to his, I guess, 6 siblings. I have it right here. Hold on. I had it called up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 siblings, right? His 4 elder siblings, which are Johnny Buss, he's 69. Jim Buss is 66. Jeannie, America's sweetheart, 64. And Janie, 62. Okay. Now, here are the half siblings, right? From other relationships. Joey Buss and Jesse Buss. Now, the little context is like Dr. Jerry Buss said to his first wife, like, hey, look, like, I will not have kids with anyone else. Like, I can promise you that. But that promise was broken. Enter Joey and Jesse. So this was not particularly planned, which most family situations aren't really planned like this, right? But so Joey is 41 and Jesse is 38. Well, this goes back to a 2019 deal or 2018. And who the deal was for and why exactly this was brought up really doesn't mean anything to the overall story. But the bottom line is, like, Joey Buss, 41 years of age, from that second, like, group of kids, right, is talking. They're all on the phone, I guess, all the owners, which are all 6 kids. And he said something, and Jeannie Buss says, you weren't even supposed to be born, allegedly. This is in the article. Now, like, Jeannie Buss, like, I can say, like, I didn't know she had it in her. Like, that is, like, my closest connection to Jeannie Buss is having Jay Moore on the Payoff with Pete, a podcast about sobriety, which you can get on Apple and Spotify. It's great for folks that are struggling with recovery. I've been sober for 14 years. That's a big part of my life. And Jay Moore's sober. So he came on the show through a mutual connection. Thanks, Sully. And, I worked in the NBA. I've been in, like, Jeannie Buss's orbit, but I don't know her. But honestly, you'd have to really work hard from morning to night to find people that, like, say negative things about her. By all accounts, she's a really good person. And, but therein lies, like, the family situation, right? Like, you never should have been born. Wow. And the craziest part was, okay, all these things in this article, right? Like, one thing that was kind of undercover, there was a lot of stuff that was undercover. A couple things that I love is that everybody talks about, that's close to the situation, how Linda Rambis has been around forever because that's Jeannie Buss's best friend. And Kurt Rambis, of course, married to Linda Rambis. They're, like, embedded in the Lakers organization. They collectively walked away with $32 million when this sale was made. 8 to one of them, 24 to the other, like a tip of the cap to Kobe's numbers, right? This is no lie. It's in the article and was not disputed by Jeannie Buss. She responded to the article. She did not dispute saying to her younger brother, Joey, you shouldn't have been born. She did not dispute giving the Jim Rome calls him the Rambi, but giving the Rambis family, Linda and Kurt, $32 million. She did not, like, there were so many things, like, she did not refute, but she refuted the fact that she said, hey, don't bring LeBron into my family drama. Like, he doesn't deserve to be in the family drama, because another part of the article was that she was pissed at LeBron for not showing any gratitude when they drafted Bronny. And all of this is a big mess, like, and it's all on Front Street. But all it says to me is, I mean, overwhelmingly, it's like Game of Thrones, right? Like, that's what this is. This is craziness. This needs to become a television show. I might need it. They did that Dynasty documentary, which was on Hulu, which was pretty damn good, right? It was almost like their response to the HBO show, Winning Time, that got picked up, the Perlman book. which kind of said all kinds of, it was like based on the book, but they took some liberties. So the Lakers came out with their own documentary, and I thought it was actually really good. I know it was one of those documercials, right? Like I think Jeannie had last say, but it was still really good. And that was on Hulu. You can still watch it, obviously. But I think I need another one. I need another documentary. I need this story to come to life, because what Baxter Holmes did, and you can still see it, it's still like splashed on ESPN's homepage. It is really, really good stuff. One of the most interesting organizations short of the Cowboys. I mean, there's no organization that facilitates and curates drama like the LA Lakers, except for the Dallas Cowboys. And I think it comes down to a life lesson, right? Like all the money in the world, okay, Dr. Jerry Buss, all the power in the world, all the championships in the world, right? All the best players in the world, right? From Magic Johnson to Kobe Bryant to his daughter, finding a way with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka to sign LeBron James. It just doesn't solidify what you want the future to be, or how you want your family to carry themselves. At the end of the day, people suffer from the human condition, and we are also screwed up that this amount of money and this amount of pressure, really, because there's pressure for the Lakers to be good. They are a cornerstone organization in not just the NBA, but all of sport, right? And all of these outside things have taken this family unit that Dr. Jerry Buss wanted to stay together, right? And grow together. And now they're all splintering because of all of these things that he bestowed upon him when he passed. So the one thing that he probably thought that he would be able to control and make work would be to let me leave the team to these 6 kids all equally, right? But somehow, and there's litigation behind this. At the end of the day, Jeannie, who is still the governor of the team right now, Jeannie, she fired, both of her brothers, right? Joey and Jimmy. And she fired everybody. I think Janie, the youngest of that first family, I think she just resigned and walked away. But Jeannie had to fire them. So she's in control, which is probably what Dr. Buss didn't want to happen in the aftermath of his death. But she did what she felt she had to do to honor his legacy. There's so much stuff, right, going on behind the scenes that we have no idea about. But his dying wish is that his family would run this organization together as a family, this thing that he built from the ground up, right? Basically was robbing Peter to pay Paul early on to keep the organization afloat. And now here it is. Like, folks, we have no control on other things outside of our own lane. Like, that is life. We have our little corner of the world that we can try to influence best we can, pump out all the good energy, do all the hard work, right? Strive for success. But the chips are going to fall where they may. And you can work your whole life to set something up, right? To set up this care and this love and this liquid, right? Liquid assets for your kids. And what do you get, dude? You get Baxter Holmes doing like this amazing inside, and it's not a hit piece. It's the truth, allegedly. I mean, but again, the only thing that Jeannie Buss disputed was that, hey, that sucks that LeBron gets brought into the family drama. I apologize to him for this. She didn't say, I never told my youngest brother, Jimmy, that he never should have been born. Like, honestly, dude, we have thrown around. I mean, there has been biting, nasty, awful things that my brothers and I have said to each other, right? But man, nothing even in that neighborhood. I can tell. My brothers used to tell me that I was adopted by this gigantic Muppet. I had this gigantic Muppet poster, like one of those Fraggle Rock guys. And my brothers, Michael and Kevin, were like, that's your mom, dude. Like, they're not telling you this, but that.
I'm sorry. This is great. I was just about to come on and be like, really? Your brothers never said like you were delivered by FedEx or something? And that is exactly like that. I think is the kids' version of what Jeannie's saying.
Yes.
Jeannie saying it as an adult, it's really bad, but
Dude,
that is so good.
I can remember looking up at this because it was like a life-size poster that covered the entire door. I'm just like, you guys kidding me? And they're like, no, man. Like, go ahead and ask. And of course I'd ask, and my mom would like be dismissive of it. I can remember. And she like didn't have anything to say. And I remember my brother Michael going, look at her. She's speechless. Yeah.
Dude, that's just that is kind of par for the course. Like I used to, when me and my sister, when we would get, we get 2 older brothers, when we would get CDs, we'd have to like hide them. Because they just smash them. They'd throw them like frisbees and break them. And a couple of times my brothers would like tie me up. Like they would just for fun. Like they would hog tie me to the bed. Yeah. They did it to me one time just to mess with me for a while. And my dad came home early, and my dad is not gonna he's not taking the belt out on his stepkids or anything. But they like ran up, they untied me, and they said, if you tell your dad about this, we're gonna do this to you the whole day tomorrow. And then just like ran out. And I tell like my fiance that story, and she's like, they're monsters. They're awful. I'm like, no, they're just older brothers. Like,
That's it, dude.
They're just like, I have nothing about that anymore. Like, it's just, that's how it is, man.
There is some underlying damage to both you and I because of that. But I really do believe the good outweighs the bad. I really believe that. Like, there is stuff that people say and do to me today that will never even come close to what I experienced at home as a young kid growing up. Like, and to a fault, right? Like, I'll say things to people that I think is funny, and it doesn't go over well. So.
Yes, I you know, I'm with you in that boat for sure.
Yeah.
So
what time? So we good with Mack Strong?
We are good. We are good. We have got confirmation.
All right, so let's take a break, and we'll come back with Mack.
Man, that sounds like a plan.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show is presented by Slovacics. Mack Strong coming up on the other side of the break.
Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show continues as we are on the cusp of the NFC and AFC Championships. A big weekend. No better time to talk to a guy like Mack Strong, who played in a Super Bowl, played for the Seattle Seahawks, and there he is right there. Mack, man, thank you so much for taking the time.
No, man, no problem. Thanks for having me on, Pete.
You got it. Going from an undrafted free agent out of Georgia to a consecutive or multiple-time Pro Bowler to playing in a Super Bowl. It's our privilege to have a guy like you on the show, and your work in Seattle speaks for itself, but I want to get into the experience in Seattle. When you're playing for the Seahawks and that situation is rolling in that city, what is that like? How powerful is that?
Well, I tell you what, it's like a tidal wave. I think, the people in Seattle are just rabid about their sports, right? We don't have an NBA team there. It's been a long time since we've had a championship there. And so I just think about, just how rabid our fans are about the football team there, about the culture of the team, about just the makeup, the character of the different players on the team. I mean, I really do think that they just get into it. I mean, they got nothing else to do, up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's cold, it's raining, half the time. And so to be able to go to, the stadium and to just cheer on a great football team, especially, this was the season that they had this year. I mean, the fans get really behind it, and they take a lot of pride and credit in, being loud, making it hard for opposing teams to be able to come in and communicate, whether it's on offense or defense or whatever. And the team typically plays well at home. I mean, there's a lot of stats that just show that the Seahawks, especially when they're playing at home, they typically play well, and the fans take a lot of credit for that.
Can you describe really how loud it gets there? Like, how much of an advantage will that be for Seattle on Sunday?
It's huge. I mean, especially for an offense. You think about the Rams coming in here, one of the top offenses in the National Football Leagues. Matthew Stafford, being up for, MVP and all that kind of stuff. They pride themselves. I mean, a good offensive football team, they got to be able to communicate. They got to be able to talk in the huddle. They got to be able to get their hand signals, all of those things. You're under a clock. You got a time clock you got to play under, and to be able to execute at a high level. But when you have a crowd of people around you literally screaming, people leave that stadium hoarse sometimes because they have no voice because they've been screaming the whole time. I don't even know if they know what they're screaming at, but they just scream the whole time, just making sure that they do everything they can to disrupt things. I mean, your ears are popping down on the field. I think they've, at different times they've tried to, put it on the meter to find out, how loud that could be, You know, once upon a time when they had beast mode, when he had his run there, it was a crowd it was such a raucous crowd to the level of like earthquake. So that's all I can tell you, and I can imagine that those guys are ready to come in there and have Beastquake 2 this coming Sunday.
I heard. Now we're talking about the postseason, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Your Super Bowl in Detroit against the Steelers, which you unfortunately lost. I heard a story that there were a lot of Steelers fans in that building, and it was one of the loudest Super Bowls people say that they have ever been at. And you guys even had some trouble in the huddle communicating because it had gotten so loud in that dome. What can you tell me about that?
Well, you think about it. Detroit is only it's not that far away from Pittsburgh, right? I mean, and even though it's an NFC team, and you know we got to use all of their facilities and all of that kind of stuff. The fans just really showed up, and that was the Seahawks' first Super Bowl, and so we weren't at a point where we traveled well, right? We were like really good at home. We were starting to develop that sort of attitude and dynamic and being known for being loud at home. But we weren't that necessarily on the road. And so, in my recollection, I feel like there were probably, if that stadium held 70,000 fans, 60,000 of them were Pittsburgh fans.
Wow.
And so, but I give the Seattle fans credit. I think since that Super Bowl, that dynamic has changed. We travel, the Seahawks travel well now. Wherever they go, they are loud. They show up, for the team. And no matter what their record is, and they cheer loud for them.
Mack, what's different about the playoffs when you get to the AFC Championship game? What changes for a player?
It's everything's on the line. You can really throw everything you've done, up until that point. You can throw it out the window. All the accomplishments, all the numbers, all of those things. You can, because it's not gonna gain you a yard. It's not going to score points for you. None of that stuff. You have to play your best football in those games. I remember Mike Holmgren telling us, in 2004 at the end of the season when we lost to the Rams for the third time in the playoffs, he's like, look, guys, he's like, in order to get to the Super Bowl, you have to play your best football. All your best players have to play their best football. And I know that's a no-brainer, right? But it really is true. And you have to play it in those moments that's tough and hard, and that's in the playoffs, right? Because it's win or go home. And so we really took that to heart the next year, obviously, and made it all the way to the Super Bowl. I think that's what this team is really good at. They play hard no matter what. Even when the games don't matter. I think that they have to play every game like it's the Super Bowl, because if you play one game really tough and you kind of take it easy on another game because the team doesn't have a good score, a good record, or somebody's a key player's injured or something like that, they're out. You can kind of be lackadaisical and maybe not play your best, but you have to play your absolute best no matter where you're at, whether you're home or on the road. And the Seahawks have learned, even though they have a younger team, I've been very impressed with that. They play extremely hard, no matter what the situation is and where they're at. And they developed a culture and an attitude about that. And I think that's the reason why they're so successful.
You're one of the, there are, such a small sliver of humanity that has played in the NFL and an even smaller one that's played in a Super Bowl. You have a very unique perspective. When you win the AFC Championship, what happens after that inside an NFL organization to get even the stuff from the outside as you get ready for the Super Bowl? They say that it's just so much, it's so different, even like the timing, the travel, the tickets. What is it like for a player?
Yeah, well, it was the NFC Championship we won, but we so you're the only, you realize that for 2 weeks you're the only two teams on TV that people are talking about, right? It's down to two. They're not talking about any other teams. They're not talking about next year. They're not talking about, anybody else. It's just those two teams. There was just us in Pittsburgh. And I just remember every day felt like, we just tried to soak it in and take it up. I remember Mike Holmgren telling us that he's like, enjoy this because, this is a great experience that, you can't replicate in doing anything else. And he's right about that. And so, we tried to, we kind of had a system where we wanted to get all the tickets out of the way by, the Wednesday after the NFC Championships. I told my family, I said, hey, don't be calling me the day before the Super Bowl and saying, can I get some tickets? It's the Super Bowl. No, you can't. You can't get it. So, and those tickets are hard to come by and all those things. So, but just making the plans, family, you just didn't want to have any distractions the week of the Super Bowl. So that first week, that's what you're really doing. You're not so much even preparing for your opponent. You're prepared not to be distracted. In my opinion, you're doing all the little things. Like I said, the tickets, the hotels, the travel. You're all of a sudden you got all of these family members coming out of the woodwork that you didn't know you had. Oh yeah, can I go to the Super Bowl? And so you try to navigate all of that, and then really when you get down that week of, it's just like any other week. Any other week.
Is it different having your Super Bowl in Detroit? Is it different as far as like the temptations as opposed to like being in Miami, or is it all the same?
Well, I've only been to one Super Bowl where I played in it, and I can tell you that there was no temptation to sit in Detroit. I mean, I love Detroit. I love the fans in Detroit. All that, but there's nothing in Detroit. I'm just telling you. And it actually snowed the day we played, and so so it was. Gosh, man. I know that there's probably other places. So San Francisco will be one of those places where people, there's a nightlife. There's going to be an atmosphere. It's going to be, it's going to be contagious. I'm sure guys are going to be tempted to want to, sneak out or whatever, go hang out with their friends, and their friends want to hang out with them, but that's the Super Bowl is one of the most highly secured facilities and cities in the city and in the country, because of that, because it attracts so much attention, so many people come there, and it can be a distraction. So that's part of it too, right? For any team to be successful, you have to navigate that and not get caught up in that and other things.
And you're still analyzing sports. You are analyzing sports now, right? Like in media, in Washington and Seattle, that area. What do the Seahawks need to do to win the NFC Championship, to beat the Rams?
I just think they need to continue to keep playing like they've been playing. I mean, they're on a 7-8 game winning streak, and so just continue to keep playing the way that they play. I mean, they played. I mean, this is one of those times, in their history where they're good at all three phases. Right. And offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, they can strike from anywhere at any time. They can take the ball over. They play nasty defense. This time of the year, you want to be able to run the ball well. And that's something that they do. They defend. They defend well against run. And they run the ball well. And you have a quarterback now that has, just a lot of experience playing in Seattle, playing in that atmosphere. And even though he didn't play well in the first game that they had, he played extremely well in the second game. And so just really drawing off of all the success that they've had, ride that wave of success that they've had the last 2 months in Seattle. And I think they'll be fine, But they make no mistake about it. In my opinion, these are the two best teams in the league. And so I really do feel like whoever wins this game is probably going to win it all.
So I got to imagine a Seahawk at heart. You're a kid from Columbus, Georgia. You went to University of Georgia, and now you live in Washington State, right?
I do.
How the hell does that happen? I mean, I guess a wonderful experience with the Seahawks, right?
That's a big part of it, right? I mean, when you play your whole career in one spot, which is unique in and of itself, right? Because I came in '93, which is really kind of the beginning of free agency as we know it today, right? You guys can move around and go to different teams. And there wasn't a whole lot of free agency stuff for fullbacks. But just being able to play for one team for, over 14 years, being in the same region, the same location. I met my wife in Seattle, my kids were born in Seattle. My mom and my sister moved out to Seattle. So it's always been, it's just always been a place. It has become a place that I feel like I've always wanted to live, but I didn't know it, growing up in the deep South. And so I go back and see my dad and I see my friends and stuff like that, but I consider myself a Pacific Northwesterner now. I
love it, man. That's the gift of football and sports, and your family's out there. Yeah. And Mack, man, I've heard amazing stuff about you. It's really cool to have the experience, to be able to experience it myself, man. I really appreciate you taking the time today to share some of your thoughts, your experience, your strength, and hope, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad to be on here, and I hope kudos to your show, man. Thanks for just reaching out to me, and man, I look forward to seeing some great games tomorrow.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take care, Mack.
All right, talk to you later.
See you, buddy. Mack Strong, there he goes. How lucky are we to talk to a dude like that? Yeah, I think his career, having played in one city for the entirety of it, said so much about him as a man, I think. And I think it's great. Players go where you can, right? He said free agency, but that just the loyalty, the commitment, and the belief, and to have his family up there. I just love hearing that stuff. The Pete Sousa Show is presented by Savachix. We'll come back. We're going to wrap it up. A little bit of entertainment. I want to kick some stuff around with Cam. I saw a movie last night, and I'm going to tell you why you should see it, but why you may want to there's things you can fast forward with. I can help you with that. Okay? The Pete Sousa Show presented by Savachix. We'll be back after this.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at GEVI.com to discover more.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at sarn.com.
At Covers and All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Stability.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. We're presented by Savachix. I'm just sitting here doing the old doom scroll. Actually, I would call it an informative scroll during the show, trying to just get up to date, see if there's anything breaking. We have our breaking news anchor, Cam Stewart, back in Boston. And you know, if something's going to pop off, he's going to let us know. But I can tell you that Draymond Green has responded on behalf of LeBron, I guess, in that whole Genie Bus thing. And it's so stupid. Like, first of all, Draymond Green sucks at media. I'm sorry, he does. And he's got a personality and he's probably fun to talk to, but he's just like, he's not great. Like, so it's like if Draymond Green didn't play in the NBA, he would be awful. Like, nobody would want to listen to what he had to say, right? Like, he's just not, he doesn't have that gift of, like, I don't know. He's not compelling like that to me. And I think to many others. I don't think his numbers are like off the charts. Like, it ain't like it's all the smoke. Like, those two dudes, like Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, like, they could sit down and quite possibly have a show, right? Like, that was very successful, aside from the fact that they play basketball. Sure, that's an entree, but Draymond stinks. So let's get that out of the way. He refutes. He says that, you know, he basically, why would you say this? He's making it worse. He goes out and he's defending LeBron for the lack of gratitude that apparently he had for not being grateful when Jeannie Buss and the Lakers drafted Bronny. Like, dude, that story, I mean, that is so spot on. Like, how kind of like, it was a second round pick. Who cares, right? It's a throwaway. But at the same time, like, that's not even coming close to happening if dad isn't on the team and doesn't have amazing juice. So there's Draymond saying, like, oh, well, Bronny did work. And Bronny, it's like, dude, just stay away, dude. You stink at media. You're pretty you're annoying. I'm sure you're a great teammate. And if you played for the Sixers when I actually cared about the Sixers, I'm sure I would have loved you. Right?
Are we sure about great teammate?
I can't hear you. Your mic's off. Good call. Good call. Yeah, maybe you're not. Well, if he's been with one organization for that long and they've won a bunch of championships, he's doing something right. But that's a good point. I mean, you know, punching one of your teammates out, like, yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, you said you had breaking news. What do you got?
We do. It is technically a developing story rather than just breaking. This has happened, but Adam Schefter, and I did triple check, the real Adam Schefter has tweeted out, because this is one of those updates where you're like, is this the real account? Former Colts quarterback and current St. Michael Catholic High School coach Philip Rivers is interviewing today for the head coaching job for the Buffalo
What?
I had the same reaction. The Buffalo Bills are interviewing Philip Rivers to be their head coach today.
So does he have some kind of relationship with Josh Allen?
They wear the same number.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing this is like the Colts saying, hey, let's see if something sticks here. You know, a guy who's fresh out of the league. knows exactly what a quarterback wants, had a pretty frustrating career in terms of probably didn't have all the things the quarterback needed at the right time. Like, maybe that's their view of like, here's a quarterback that was good enough to play in the Super Bowl and never did. Maybe he does have the answers on what we need.
That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. It's silly, but yeah,
it's dangerous because there's just such a lack of experience, you know?
Yeah. He's coached high school. Jason Witten's name never came up for the Cowboys opening, really, did it?
Yeah, it did.
Did it? Like, seriously, though. Like,
I mean, no.
He didn't get interviewed.
He ever interviewed? Yeah. No, you're right. No.
I think Scotty was probably a proponent of it, though.
Scotty Swingler.
Yeah, he's a big Jason Witten guy.
If Scotty was here, this goddamn lighting would be right in this room. I can promise you that. We're R.I.P. Scotty. We love you. All right. I want to talk to you guys about a movie I watched last night, and then we'll get out of here. It's Friday. Spoiler alert. I don't even know if you can spoil it, but I saw the movie The Rip. Now, one of the qualifiers for this movie for me to get me interested. One, my brother likes just about everything, but I texted him, and this guy, by the way, I've talked about it. He's the president of a company, and it's not a media company. Nobody watches more TV than this guy. I mean, I knew that when I texted him, he was in Houston on business, and I said, "What did you think of The Rip?" It's not even a question. And he goes, what did he say? This is after he texted me in the morning and explained to me that Bert Kreischer has a sitcom that is worth watching. He said, first of all, let's do the Bert Kreischer text. Dude, you know I'm not a huge Bert Kreischer fan, but the first episode of his new sitcom on Netflix is extremely funny. So I'll watch it, maybe. I said, The Rip. He said, very good, not amazing. So it's based on a true story, okay? Now, the unfortunate part about a movie like this, okay, I compare a movie like this one to Heat or to The Town, right? As specific to these guys, Ben Affleck particularly. And it's a little too the first scene of the movie feels like you're watching a movie about an actor who is on set performing a movie. And here's what I mean. It is so like typical Hollywood crap. What and so let's start it, okay? There's a woman who's under duress. And when I say she is a 10 out of 10 on the look scale, she is, okay? Fit, what you would just, as a visual person, you're like, wow, that's a very attractive human being. So, but she's a police officer and she's undercover, okay? But you couldn't get any better looking of a person, okay? So right away, I'm like, okay, I want to suspend disbelief, but this is tough. And then she's doing something covert, right? And a gunfight breaks out. So now she's texting as she shoots a gun because she's got to get information to somebody. And I'm thinking like, okay, like I need to build up to that. Like now, if you want to show me a picture of a dead body that's not either of the women, but by the way, those two attractive women are like undercover cops as well. The one on the right is like a joke. The one on the left, very attractive too. I'm not here to rate looks. Look at me, but I'm just saying. So this woman, I can deal with a movie, right? Like that starts off with like a dead body in a forest, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like let's go from there, right? This one was somebody gets capped. You like that? Somebody gets killed, gets murdered. And it's like this amazing, like Hollywood shootout. And it sucks because, and I'm not saying that I think Damon and Affleck, they had to be like behind this whole thing, right? Like, I'm not saying like that was their idea of how to start the movie, but like, I don't need the fireworks display. Like, Save Jurassic Park for the Jurassic Park people. Save what was that movie? Bad Boys 2 for like, I don't need all that, dude. But that's what they have to give you to get a movie made nowadays, right? And this is Netflix. This isn't even like big screens. So right away, I'm disappointed. I'm like, okay, you know. And then the plot, the movie starts, you can tell like the bones of this movie are good. Damon is awesome. Affleck is pretty good. Damon's awesome. Matt Damon is awesome. He's just a great actor. He's always going to be Matt Damon because he's super famous, but he does go into his character where you're like, this is a great character. Ben Affleck plays, at least to me, feels like he plays the same guy in every movie. And honestly, good for him because he's mastered that. And he was Ben Affleck again in this movie. But Ben Affleck with Matt Damon, when Ben Affleck is always going to be himself, kind of screws me up because I'm always waiting for Matt Damon to be himself because the two guys are joined at the hip. But really, Matt Damon is the protagonist and he's playing somebody different. So, you know, somebody different than himself. But the movie is, it's now Michael liked it way more than I did. I think it's a solid movie. But then at the end, right, they're wrapping things up. And then at the end, we got another, we got a goddamn 15-minute chase. Like that I just was like, I'm fast forwarding through this. I don't need to see this. Right? Like it's complete, and it's the movies. I get it. And maybe I am totally out of the demographic, right? But I don't need like the explosions. And I could use one explosion, right? I could use, don't get me wrong, grab a Tech 9, let's go, right? But like after, enough is enough, right? Like I'm just not, I didn't play Call of Duty, right? Or COD, as some of my friends who played it way too much will call it. So, okay. Like I fast forwarded and then, you know, they wrap it up and there are a lot of twists and turns. There was definitely a point in the movie where I said out loud, suspense. Like I like this. I didn't know what was going on. So it's a good movie. It's not like it's 2.5 hours. It's 2 hours. It could have been 1 hour and 5 minutes. No question. Easily could have been 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's almost like a CSI on steroids with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, or maybe not CSI, but like more of, because it's more of like a narco unit show. So one of those numbers. But Matt Damon is unbelievable. And you know, I would watch it. The last thing I'll say on this note, on this entertainment note, I have drifted so far into the true crime space that it makes it difficult for me to watch anything that has anything to do with fiction. And I brought that on myself. I watch so much, and now the documentaries are getting, they're not as good, right, anymore, because it just doesn't take much to get them made, right? It just doesn't. And so there's documentaries everywhere. So now you got to go through the weeds to see what you like and what you want to watch. That's why I always end up watching Dateline, because I'm a creature of habit, and Dateline has the rhythms. I know what I'm going to get, you know? And a 30 for 30 is pretty much the same thing, although, you know, the directors and that can kind of change, but the bones are there. But so you watch something that's nonfiction, it really messes with your mind. I struggle with that. I do. Especially action stuff. So maybe it's the old man in me. I don't know. But Cam, where are you at with that? Where are you at with like nonfiction action movies? Like as you know, like you were maybe kind of listening right there. Like,
no, I got you. Yeah.
I'm
pretty much on the same plane as you, Pete. It's actually freaky. Like, I've never really been a guy that's like action for the sake of action.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I was just thinking about while you were saying this, I watched one of my favorite movies of all time the other night, and it was like 1 hour, 35 minutes. It's something that could totally happen in real life. And it was scary and eerie.
What is it? Debbie Does Dallas? You want to tell us the title?
It's called Shallow Grave. It's a movie from like 1994. It's Ewan McGregor's film debut. And it's excellent. It's excellent. And it's like all things that can actually happen in your life. Like,
yes.
Once I see, you know, 60-year-old Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, 50-whatever-year-old Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they're just explosions, and they're gritty, and they're jacked, and I'm like, I just know it's not going to be for me.
And look, Ben Affleck is like,
I know
I'm
exactly what
all
you're talking about with like the timing too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like that movie should have probably been an hour 28 minutes. Like,
oh my God. I don't understand. And the Affleck, 3 minutes into the movie, there's I got to take my shirt off. It's like, all right. I mean, and good for him. Good for him.
Huge budget, Netflix. So huge budget. Like this is getting way in the weeds, but probably has a bunch of stylistic choices I don't love because they have a lot of money to do it. I'm a big like indie movie guy. I can get pretty douchey about this.
No, I don't think. Honestly, I think indie movie guy is no longer a douche. Indie movie guy is somebody who just wants some good content.
Yes, some good writing, some good characters. You know, I just like I complain to my fiance all the time of like you know, I just hate like digital backgrounds. Like they've nailed it. Like it looks great, but I don't like that. Like I like natural lighting. I like, you know, shooting a real scene in real daytime. Like, you know what I mean? Being in a real city, you know what I mean? Not just a sound stage, you know, and that's been happening forever to some extent. But like, I know when I look up this movie, I know what it is.
You know what it is. And I never watch those Netflix movies, but I will say, I'm just like Damon Affleck. Yeah, I need to decompress and just check out. Let me see. I hadn't had a night like that in a while. Yeah.
I think that's what they do. Netflix has obviously these endless pockets now, and they just say, you know what? Matt Damon, Ben Affleck on the poster. You know, have them with some guns. And like, there we go. We got people. It's, you know, it just so happens there's going to be a blizzard here this weekend. You got somebody for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's in a way brilliant. But
what are your thoughts on as a Boston guy? What are your thoughts on Affleck and Damon? Really?
It's not the popular opinion around here. I could take him or leave him, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of The Town, which everyone loves.
Oh, why don't you like The Town?
I think there's some major plot holes in it.
Like what?
Like just none of that could have happened, bro. like he would have just fled right away. He's not keeping up this flame. He's not telling her who he is, or like he's not even going on a second or third date with her. Like that's just not
women are undefeated. That I disagree. I think that can. I think that's how a lot of these guys get caught. Because
also not a huge fan of The Departed, by the way.
Why not that?
The last 40, 45 minutes, love it. Like it's good, except for the last scene. I mean, that's way too heavy-handed. It's the first time. It's not like it is pretty coincidental at the first time in his career. Marty Scorsese gets pretty heavy-handed on what the message is at the end of that movie is when he starts winning the Oscars, right? Like it's just we need to dumb it down a little bit for the Academy. That's the indie film bro in me. But honestly, I don't love Jack Nicholson in The Departed. And I love Jack Nicholson, but
just doesn't play a good Boston guy.
Yeah, it's just like it's not really quite the Whitey character that we see portrayed in some other things. I think portrayed pretty well. Like I think Johnny Depp actually.
Johnny Depp, I knew you really think. Wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And that movie's just
Black Mass. I like that.
It's fine. It's fine. And The Departed's good. I don't know if it's great. Love Good Will Hunting. That's great. My favorite Boston movie, which you didn't ask, my favorite Boston movie is such a deep cut. Have you ever seen any Robert Mitchum movies?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're going to say. The Friends of Eddie, what's his face?
The Friends of Eddie Coyle.
Yes.
It's my favorite Boston movie.
You know, as a kid, that turned up on HBO one day, and I ended up watching the whole goddamn thing. Elliot Gould's in that, right?
Yeah. No.
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle. Yep.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's terrific, and it's got like the guy lives in Quincy, which is near where I grew up, so you get a little bit of the Boston suburbs in there too, which I like. And then I found out, so like I actually got recommended this movie from someone who's never even been to Boston. The guy's just a big film guy. He's from Georgia, lived in Waco with me. And he suggested this movie. This is like I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Spencer Smith?
No, but in that group, he brought Spencer Smith into my life.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, like this is so good. I love that they go to a Bruins game at the end, Old Garden, Bobby Orr, like that's all into it. And so I started looking it up after the second or third time I watched it. It's based on a novel by a guy who went to the same high school as me. George V. Higgins wrote the novel. He's from Rockland, Massachusetts. It's nuts. I was like, what the hell? You know, he wrote all these novels and one of them got made into a movie, obviously super low budget. Robert Mitchum's a great actor. And it's just kind of the anti of what we just talked about. Like, it's not over the top. It doesn't have like a Goodfellas soundtrack kind of thing to it, which, you know, Goodfellas is a perfect movie, but it's not like your typical gangster film. It's pretty normal. It's pretty average, but it's got a great story.
Good. It's not like super slow or anything.
Yes. It's got great. Yeah, good point. Good pacing, good suspense to it. Again, kind of real life story that could have happened to your neighbor in Quincy. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty realistic. It's not a made guy either. He's pretty low level in the mob. He's a runner for them basically as a middle-aged man. It's a really good kind of off the beaten path mob story.
What's the Boston movie with Paul Newman where he's the attorney?
The Verdict.
That's a great movie too.
Very, very good movie.
Yeah, I mean, Newman's like rock bottom, alcoholic. That's a great movie.
Yeah. See, this is good. These are the Boston movies that don't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. Well, why don't you start? We're going to do one of your lists next week. Okay.
To do a list.
Yeah, I'll come up with a list for you to do.
A list that never gets the files that never get exposed. Gotcha. Yeah.
No, I want your list on something. I'll think about it.
All right. You got to give me some lead time.
Okay. By the way,
you always do.
You'll be watching 5:00 Saturday night. I got Baylor and TCU on ESPN2, so all the Baylor fans watch it. You know, I will keep King in check because he's like really hard on Baylor right now.
Yeah, I think I'll be watching that with my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Homestead this weekend. One of my friends from high school. Her husband's my best friend. But we've known them. They've been dating since middle school, whatever. She's running the Boston Marathon this year. So we're doing a little fundraiser in the hometown tomorrow.
Cool. You'll be drunk.
Probably drunk. Yeah. It's literally at the towny bar. Like that's what it is. And however much
by the way, are you
going to the Joe Andruzzi Foundation, former Patriot.
Elizabeth's in here, which is always great. She just came in.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So one more question for you. How many people will be at the Baylor game with the inclement weather and everything? Seriously, could it be like barren?
It could be. And like, that's not even a knock on this Baylor team. Like, no. You know, I mean, there's so many people coming from Dallas and Austin, alums that come in for a weekend game like this. Perfect time for them, you know, time-wise to get there. I think it's going to be pretty barren. I imagine they'll probably be handing out some tickets. Local organizations and charities, like that'd be a great idea.
Do you think they'll move the time up? It's 5:00 now.
You know, we've heard that rumored, but they're saying they're going to go with it as planned. I don't know exactly when it's starting to hit, but like, you know, man,
overnight Friday into Saturday.
Once it gets going, those roads are unplayable for a couple of days, man.
Yeah.
That's asking a lot, I think. Like, can TCU get down there? I mean, I guess they'll be down there this afternoon. Like, can they get back? When are they getting back?
We'll have to figure it out, dude. That's a Jamie Dixon problem. All right, we're done for today. We'll be back on Monday. Cam, thank you so much, everybody. All our sponsors, Slovacics, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, Sequoia Family Ford. We will see you on Monday. Thanks, guys.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this, is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
Show. Sports.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.